Well, good evening and welcome to the Arbor Hills Nature Preserve in Plano, Texas, where you can see we've had some rain. Not sure how the rain is going to go for the rest of the night, but I thought this would be a good opportunity to do the extended battery test for the Wuben X2. And if the rain continues throughout the night, we're going to get the rain exposure test as a bonus. I'm going to go ahead and get started early because I don't know how long I will be out. I'm going to try to do a roughly 60-40 mix, medium to high. We'll see how that goes, but I'm going to really base things on real-time conditions on the ground. But I'm going to try to maintain approximately that mix because I think from past experience that will be the ideal situation for using this as our only source of lighting in lieu of a headlamp. So it's going to take me about another 10 minutes to get kitted out. I didn't know how the rain was going to go, so I brought enough kit to do two different reviews. So I've got to transfer some gear to my waterproof pack. Then, since this is not a beam test, the review is already online, so there are plenty of beam shots available at this location. This is a burn down test. I can just go ahead and get started early, leave it on. The preserve closes at 2300, so I have to be geared down and out of here before then, and that necessitates a much earlier start. All right, well, time to quit talking about it and get out there and do it. Okay, mark start time. As you can see, it's actually showing signs of clearing up. I guarantee if I had done my other review, I would be out here 5 minutes. It would start pouring down. I've got the light in medium, and here we go. So it's been just over 30 minutes. What I've been doing is about every 2.5 to 3 minutes, I'm running on medium. Then I click up to high for a minute, minute 15, roughly just keeping that mix between medium and high going. Let me bump up into high. Right here, of course, we still have a reasonable amount of light out, so I'm just going to keep going. Well, the rain is back, and along with it, yeah, you might have seen that lightning. We got a thunderstorm here. So I hoofed it back to the observation tower. I don't like being up on the top of the hill, but I am at the lower level. And so if I kind of get back into the middle of this level, I should be relatively protected. I'm running in high right now and exposing the light to rain. So what I'm going to do is increase the amount of time in each interval, maybe run 10 minutes in medium and 4 minutes in high or something like that. Just keep the mix going. So I will check back in later. And here's our current mission time. So we are finishing up an interval in medium. The first wave of lightning has moved on, but I've noticed there was another off in this direction. The rain is coming down much harder now, so I'm going to stay put because it's likely that another wave is moving through. This is going to be more tests than I expected. Now, the actual view of the light is being distorted by the fact that I have light above me and behind me in the observation tower, but I'm just going to keep the 10-4 intervals going, and we'll see how things progress. I just switched over into medium. I think I may have gotten a break as far as the thunderstorm is concerned. The rain is probably not going to let up, so I'm just going to try to do my best to make it back to the parking area, hopefully in record time. I'll run it in whatever mode is necessary to have best situational awareness in this rain. That will probably be high, or most of the time in high. I will let you know when I get there. The rain has led up to the point, I'm kind of under some trees right now. I don't have the best cover on my iPhone for filming in the rain right now, but I can at least show you what things look like in high. I mean, for this segment, high is really providing the best overall radius of awareness. That's dropping down to medium. That's adequate for following the concrete path with almost no rain, but as the rain picks up, you really want to increase your situational awareness. I really think you need to bump this up into high. So speaking of high, I'm going to hightail it back to the picnic area and we will pick up there. Still in high, always a fun shot. The only other time I filmed this is when I did a extended rain test for my headlamp. Still in high, getting pretty close to the parking lot, but I thought you might want to see this. It's always kind of fun. Got my headlamp on right now, makes it much easier to do a time update, which is difficult holding the phone and the X2 in the same hand. I just finished a very long interval in high. I started that interval right at 10 till, so I backed off into medium. Let me get my headlamp off. And there is medium. Yeah, it seems like we've lost a little bit, but again, for following the path just right in front of you, it's fine. What you lose is that much larger radius of awareness that I think you need in a lot of situations. So I'm back up here at the picnic area. I'm going to go plant the X2 down and start a series of maybe 10 sixes. I've been keeping up with the lightning and the number of seconds between lightning strike and the sound of thunder. My best estimate is this stuff has moved over 2 miles away, but it's likely that there's another wave coming. At least the rain has stopped for a while, so get back to testing, although the fun part is just going to be finding a place to sit here. Of course, this is all metal tables and chairs. So tell you what, let's set the X2 right here, so that way it'll continue to get rain exposure. Again, we are in medium, and I'm starting a new round. I'm going to do maybe 10 in medium and then 6 minutes in high. I just finished a 10-minute, 6-minute cycle, medium and high. I just now switched over to medium. We're at almost 2 hours mission time. If you were following a dirt path, this is pretty much what you got. I mean, this is bare minimum of what I would want if I was following a dirt path. I really can't see how this terrain is sloping 15, 20 yards in front of me, and these paths never remain flat. This is good enough for just keeping up with my footing right in front of me. I have very little situational awareness around me. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to finish out this 10-minute interval in medium. Then I'm going to switch over to high. I'm going to leave it in high for the rest of the exercise. Rain-wise, I think we're okay. Thunderstorm-wise as well. But I'm going to stay pretty close to the parking lot area. I'm going to walk around to the bridge where I normally do output level test, and I'll show you what high looks like. And at that point, we will have been well over 2 hours mission time. So I think that'll be an interesting test. And again, after this 10-minute interval in medium. I'm going to be running in high for the rest of the exercise. Okay, there's a time update. Let me get my headlamp off. And there's the X2 in high. High is still getting the job done. I'm a little concerned about medium, but high is definitely workable. All right, I'm going to keep going. It has started raining just slightly, but no lightning. I'm going to try to stay reasonably close to the parking lot area in case I get jammed up again. And once again, we are in high. You can go back and compare this to the shots from the original view. And we're going to remain in high for the rest of the exercise. So I had to get a bit off trail here. I don't really like walking on concrete or groomed paths all the time, so I thought I'd get a little bit off the beaten path. Just give you another quick look at high mode here. Well, time to keep going. We are at the playground area. You may have seen this in some other videos. Still in high. Mission time 2.5 hours. About 5 minutes ago, I got a severe thunderstorm warning for Carrollton. We are in Plano. Those two cities are next to one another. In fact, I only live just a handful of miles here from the preserve. So I'm going to head back up to the picnic area just for safekeeping, but I wanted to give you this one last shot here in high of a known area from other videos. Okay, time update. Let me get my headlamp off. We're still going in high. Unfortunately, I've noticed regular frequent lightning flashes all around me, and judging by the interval between lightning and thunder, it is getting really close. So things are considerably better now that I'm back home. I guess the storm moved from where I live. I don't know if you can see the lightning off in there, but that's the direction that I was at. So the storm was moving that way. So what I've done is, this is not the greatest environment because of exterior lighting here at the apartment complex. There's light pollution, but this is a battery burn down. Mission time. I want to take you over here. You can see the flashing red. I can tell that we've already lost something. And then, of course, if we look over in this dark area, that's nowhere near what high would look like off of a fresh battery. So we are winding down. I'm going to see if we can make it, pretty close to 4. We'll see what happens. This is, again, just barely useful. If I was still out at the preserve, I'd be getting pretty nervous right now. But I'm glad we were able to at least continue some of the testing here. Arbor Hills has long since closed down. So let me get this set back up. And we'll continue the test. Okay, another quick look. And game over. All right, I believe we did run longer in high than we did in medium, so that's the data point right there. I hope you found this test useful. And as always, thank you very much for your time, and thank you for watching the video.